Hey there, Equity Warriors. Welcome to our Summer Professional Learning Series. Thanks so much for tuning in. Today, we have the 7th of our 10 special episodes designed to support you, whether you're a parent, caregiver, educator, leader, or just a simple supporter of your local schools. I think you know by now these sessions are published on the YouTube channel with the PowerPoint presentation, handouts, and resources. So if you're listening to the audio channel and you don't subscribe to YouTube, look down in the notes for the link so that you can watch the PowerPoint that goes along with the audio cast. All right. Today's the last of the 3 episodes developed especially for school leaders and consultants who provide professional learning to those leaders. But do come back next week. Even those episodes for teachers, as well as those designed for parents and caregivers, contain information that you as a leader benefit from understanding. Today's episode is for those of you at all levels looking for a way to measure your growth on an equity scale. I don't know how many times I've heard someone in education, a teacher, a leader say, we're doing DEI, but they can't tell me what that means. And they can't tell me what results they've seen. No beginning or progress monitoring benchmarks to name. So this micro session was developed to give you at least one type of measurement. Are you ready? All right, let's dig in. There is a handout for this session. And if you haven't already downloaded it, take a look down in the notes for the link, press pause, you know the drill, download, print, and then come right back. Through the work in today's micro session, you are going to take a self-assessment. It's the first time I've given you a test on the podcast. I'm going to introduce you to the Equity Maturity Matrix, and then you'll do some action planning to advance equity in your organization this year. My goal is for you to be able to evaluate the maturity level of your school or district using the Equity Maturity Matrix and begin to identify areas of improvement to advance or begin your DEI initiative. Before going any further, it's important that you take this formative assessment. There's a link on your screen, surveymonkey.com/r/episode 53, EP 53. That is case sensitive. That is to the 20 question survey for the assessment. If you didn't already take it, because it's also in the handout, pause the podcast, take the survey, note your score when you finish. You're going to need your score, and then come back when you're ready to continue. Again, that's surveymonkey.com/r/EP 53, capital E. It is case sensitive. I'll see you on the other side. All right. I'm assuming you're not cheating, that you have your score. The matrix is built on the framework of Bloom's taxonomy. So I want to quickly review Bloom's. Some of us may have been out of the classroom for a minute and not paying attention to Bloom's. Others, parents, caregivers, may have no clue what I'm talking about when I say Bloom's. So we're going to go through each level to find out. After we go through the Bloom's, we'll go through each level to find out where your organization lands. All right, so the first level of Bloom's is knowledge. And at this level, we recall or regurgitate facts, not necessarily understanding what we're talking about. The next level is comprehension. And at comprehension, you can demonstrate basic understanding of facts and ideas. Next up is application, where we solve problems using our acquired knowledge and skills. And we're in the higher order thinking now. The next level is analysis, where we break information into parts, identify motives and causes. And level 5 is synthesis, where we can use our acquired knowledge and skills to change or create something new. There is a 6th level called evaluation, and I will address that further down in the presentation. So the first level of maturity on the Equity Maturity Matrix is knowledge. And you are at this level if you have less than 20%, if your score was less than 20%, or you had 0 to 4 affirmative items. Whether at the school or district level, this means that equity is at least part of the discussion. Maybe there was no discussion and the score is closer to the 0, but there are strategic plan deficits. Even if there's discussion, the strategic plan has some issues. It may be that your goals are not defined. It may be that there is no initiative. It may lack identified outcomes beyond those that are required by state or federal regulation. You're in compliance, or that measures, that are there are only regulatory or, funding compliance type issues. Level 2 in Bloom's is the level of comprehension, right? We kind of get it. We understand it. Here, you're looking at those of you who scored 21 to 40%, or you had 5 to 8 affirmative items. Here, you now recognize that equity is a benefit to learner achievement, to discipline, and to school culture. Here, there's recognition that cultural awareness is something that is beneficial to improved relationships with our learners and to other school and community members. At this level, the assumption is that you are working on your DEI initiative, at least at the school level, maybe at the district level, but you're on your way. Level 3 is application, and you're at this level if your score was 41 to 60% or 9 to 12 affirmative actions. We see this level when both school leaders and district leaders are recognizing the academic and socio-emotional benefits of equity. When we have evidence, there is demonstrated impact, both in academics and discipline. When the culture starts to shift in your DEI initiatives, the curriculum and strategies, your policies and procedures, your professional learning are in place. And we can see we have some evidence across all three domains. Level 4 is a level of analysis. Here, you're looking at 61 to 80% as your score, 13 to 16 affirmative items in the assessment. When you reach this point, you'll find that you've succeeded at doing with your DEI initiative, or what you've succeeded at doing with your DEI initiative has become part of a larger context. You may be the model for a group of schools or even all schools. It could be that what you've done is helping to shape a strategic plan at a larger level. School board recognizes the work. There is board policy around the work that supports equity integration into academic and behavioral guidelines, procedures, protocols. We have leadership at the district level committed to supporting DEI system-wide. And the culture of the school or district evidences that implicit bias has either been largely eliminated, but at least is definitely not tolerated. Level 5 is synthesis. Here, you had a score 81 to 100% or 17 to 20 affirmative items. I'd like to say congratulations. You have made it, or you are making it. Equity is how things are done. You've created a systemic culture of equity with cultural awareness and cultural competence. Equity is part of the instructional, social, and disciplinary model. Equity drives every initiative and every choice that is made regarding teaching and learning, every planned outcome for every learner. The impact this cultural shift has had on academic performance and on your disciplinary procedures is evident. It's in the data. All right, you're there. Now, the highest level of Bloom's taxonomy is evaluation. And when I created the matrix, I didn't put evaluation in there because at each level, you need to be able to justify what you're doing, justify your initiative, your strategy, your plan. Evaluation means you can present and defend opinions by making judgments about information, validity of ideas, or quality of work based on a set of criteria. That means you have to have the criteria. So it doesn't matter if you're still down at knowledge and comprehension or you're higher up, you still need to be looking at these 5 criteria. Number 1 is leadership commitment. Leaders have to drive the vision, the mission, and the goals of equity in education. Now, if you don't have a vision, a mission, or some SMART goals, you just have to be able to, or be in a position where you're ready to drive it. Let's get that part done. Leaders also allocate resources, set expectations, and model equitable practices. If these things are all happening, there's leadership commitment. So you're going to, and you have this in your handout for action planning, you're going to get to this. This is where you're looking to see whether or not you are moving forward. That's your first criteria. Criteria number 2 is professional development. Now, here you want to make sure that teachers and staff receive ongoing training and support, and that there's a focus on culturally responsive teaching and addressing implicit biases. Again, you could still be down at the level of knowledge, but creating a plan for professional development to get this done means you are evaluating, and that's what we want to make sure happens. Criteria number 3 is curriculum and instruction. Now, curriculum should reflect diverse perspectives and be accessible to all students. Instruction should support the unique needs and backgrounds of every learner. That's equity, right? If you've read my book, Affecting Change for Culturally and Linguistically Diverse Learners, this is covered in there and probably 8 out of the 10 chapters on curriculum instruction. So no matter where you are in your journey, make sure that this type of work is happening. Criteria 4 is climate and culture. Now, positive school climate and inclusive culture are what foster belonging and equity. So leaders make sure that you recognize and address those systemic barriers and biases. Take a look at your climate, take a look at school culture. Where are you on that journey? And what resources do you need to move forward? And then criteria 5 is family and community engagement. You want to engage your families and communities as partners in education. Develop some programs and initiatives that promote equity and inclusivity that include your families and your community. That's criteria 5. Okay. Action planning guidance is in your handout. I've given you 4 big ideas to focus on. Number 1, identifying areas for improvement, assessing your current practices, reflecting on challenges, and recognizing opportunities for growth. This is all in the handout. This is going to help you pinpoint specific aspects of your school or district that will benefit from targeted work in transforming for equity. Number 2, setting your goals and objectives. You want to ensure that your goals are SMART, specific, measurable, aligned, relevant, and timely, right? So SMART goals aligned with your school and district priorities, focusing on achievable outcomes that can help you create a more inclusive and equitable learning environment. And if you need help or support on setting SMART goals, give us a call, shoot us an email. We've got those resources for you. Number 3 is to identify resources and supports that will help you in your journey. You want to seek out professional development opportunities, collaborate with colleagues to share best practices, and utilize expert resources to expand your understanding and approach. Vet your resources carefully. There are a lot of people that say that they are equity experts or equity professional developers, but really find out what it is behind what they do to make sure that it fits with your goals, your methods, and what truly equity is about. Number 4, finally, create a timeline for implementing your plan. You want to refer to your SMART goals for those milestones to help you track progress. Take a look at what KPIs are written into your SMART goals. Hold yourself accountable. Remember always that change takes time. It typically takes 3 years for a change initiative to take hold and a culture to start to shift. But be prepared to monitor your progress and adjust your plan as needed to achieve your goals. Keep in mind the quote on screen. You have to act as if it were possible to radically transform the world, or at least your school, and you have to do it all the time. The Equity Maturity Matrix is a valuable framework for assessing and improving equity in your schools and districts. Use the tool as a guide to your ongoing efforts to advance equity and inclusivity. Feel free to share the link with colleagues, post it to social media, even return it from time to time to use it as one measure of benchmarking. Continue to engage in self-assessment, reflect on your equity practices, collaborate with colleagues and communities to promote equity in your schools and districts. Always remember that advancing equity is an ongoing journey requiring commitment and persistence. As always, if you'd like to go deeper into this type of work for your organization, just shoot us an email. Thanks so much for joining me today, and continue to join me every week. Send me your questions, topics, and requests to askdrbarry.com, and I will answer those questions and bring you experts to help address those topics. Now, like, share, subscribe, turn on notifications, and as always, don't worry about the things you cannot change. Change the things you can no longer accept. And I'll see you next time.